What kind of world are we living in when billionaires are buying entire islands while millions of people cannot even afford rent? These islands are not just vacation homes. They are playgrounds where billionaires build futuristic health labs, host treasure hunts, and even try to start their own micronations. Some purchases make sense as business investments, while others feel more like eccentric hobbies with absurd price tags. Today, I'm going to take you through the strangest and most expensive islands owned by billionaires, and trust me, each one has a story that will shock you. Paul Allen's Allen Island, a forgotten purchase. In 1992, Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen spent $8 million on an island off the coast of Washington. The strangest part is that it was not even named after him, despite carrying his last name. For a man worth billions, this purchase feels almost insignificant, especially when compared to the grand resorts and massive estates other billionaires would later create. The island itself was small, quiet, and underwhelming when stacked against the jaw-dropping retreats we usually imagine at this level of wealth. From my perspective, this is a clear example of how some billionaires treat islands as side projects, almost like buying a hobby farm or an extra vacation cabin. It is money spent without much passion or vision, which lands this purchase at the bottom of the billionaire island tier list. Larry Ellison's Hawaiian tech utopia. When Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison decided to buy nearly an entire Hawaiian island in 2012, the bill came to around $300 million. He secured 98% of Lanai, leaving only 2% outside of his control, and then reshaped it according to his own vision. He transformed hotels into eco-friendly wellness resorts, brought in Jack Nicklaus to design a golf course, and even launched a company called Sensi Ag to revolutionize farming methods. Guests now pay thousands of dollars per night, but the luxury comes with an unusual twist. They are monitored by health sensors, their meals are designed around biometric data, and artificial intelligence coaches track everything as if the island were a futuristic experiment. Honestly, when I look at Lanai, I do not just see an island, I see a billionaire trying to play God with paradise. Spielberg's island surrounded by sharks. After creating Jaws, Steven Spielberg had no interest in being an easy target for the creatures he made famous. He purchased an island surrounded by shark-infested waters to use as a safe retreat for his family. It feels ironic that the man who terrified audiences with a giant shark would then choose isolation in the very environment he made us all fear. But considering his resume includes Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, and E.T., perhaps the constant reminders of monsters and chaos were reason enough to seek isolation. If I were in his position, I might have done the same thing. After those films, paranoia would feel like part of everyday life. David Copperfield turning magic into reality. Magician David Copperfield went far beyond card tricks and illusions when, in 2006, he bought 11 islands in the Bahamas for $50 million. His favorite among them, Musha Cay, became the centerpiece of a project unlike anything else owned by a billionaire. Guests can stay for $57,000 per night and participate in elaborate, custom-designed treasure hunts that include props, hidden clues, and even actors playing out full storylines across the island. He added a beachside movie theater and even built pirate village ruins, making Musha Cay feel like a live-action fantasy world. Unlike many billionaire projects, there are no scandals, cult-like communities, or sinister undertones here. It is pure entertainment built from a life spent in illusion and creativity. John Lennon's failed hippie commune. Back in 1967, John Lennon spent only $2,000 on Dornish Island off the coast of Ireland. The deal was cheap for a reason. The island was cold, only 19 acres in size, and offered no natural resources. Instead of treating it as a personal escape, Lennon invited around 25 hippies to form a commune where they lived in tents, grew vegetables, and experimented with an alternative lifestyle. Conditions were miserable, and after a supply tent burned down 2 years later, everyone abandoned the experiment. Following Lennon's death, Yoko Ono sold the land for $30,000, but the story stands out as one of the least successful island ventures. This reminds me how even visionaries sometimes buy with emotion, not logic. It is a lesson that money does not fix practicality. Dark legacy of Epstein's Islands. In 2023, investor Stephen Deckoff made headlines by buying Little Street James and Great Street James in the U.S. Virgin Islands for $60 million. These islands were once owned by Jeffrey Epstein, and their history is among the most infamous of any private property in the world. Despite the dark past, The facilities are impressive, including helipads, luxury compounds, guest villas, pools, and multiple private beaches. Dechhoff announced plans to turn the area into a high-end resort to benefit the local economy. Yet no matter how many renovations take place, the association with Epitome cannot be erased. This one always makes me uneasy. Money can rebuild walls, but it cannot erase memory, and these islands may forever carry a shadow regardless of their future. Dietrich Mateschitz Paradise in Fiji. The late Austrian billionaire and co-founder of Red Bull, Dietrich Mateschitz, purchased Lakala Island in Fiji in 2003 for $40 million. What started as a private getaway soon transformed into one of the most exclusive resorts in the world. Spread across 3,000 acres, the property features 25 villas, lush farmland, a golf course, equestrian facilities, a private submarine, and its own airstrip. Mateschitz, known for his extreme privacy, spent most of his time on the island while continuing to build the Red Bull empire. Guests who managed to visit described the location as both breathtaking and meticulously maintained. His story reflects a common billionaire pattern, where a personal retreat doubles as an empire-building project, mixing escapism with profit. The resort built by a Czech billionaire. In the early 2010s, billionaire Yuri Scheffler fell in love with the Maldives and paid $200 million for his own island. That investment led to the creation of Vela Private Island, now ranked among the most prestigious resorts in the region. The facilities are staggering, including the largest wine collection in Southeast Asia, 4 fine dining restaurants, a golf academy designed by Jose Maria Olazabal, and nearly every water sport option imaginable. Guests can even rent the entire island for $1.3 million per night, making it a playground for the world's wealthiest. This is what happens when billionaires enter industries they know nothing about and still manage to succeed. Unlimited capital can turn even inexperience into a masterpiece. Tyler Perry's never-ending construction site. For his 40th birthday in 2009, filmmaker Tyler Perry purchased White Cay in the Bahamas for $6.4 million. He had ambitious plans to transform the land into a Bali-inspired paradise, importing palm trees, water systems, and electricity from Miami. Yet more than a decade later, the project remains unfinished, with construction continuing slowly. Sometimes buying an island is the easy part. Building paradise is the nightmare, and Perry's Island shows how even massive wealth does not guarantee completion. Richard Branson, the man who beat the odds. In 1978, Richard Branson attempted to impress his girlfriend by arranging a tour of Necker Island, one of the British Virgin Islands that carried a $6 million price tag. He could not afford it, but he made a lowball offer of $100,000. The seller initially refused, but after a year of financial desperation, the price dropped to $180,000, and Branson took ownership. The British government demanded he build a resort within 4 years or risk losing the island, so he expanded Virgin businesses, raised the money, and built a resort in 3 years. Branson imported wood from Brazil, rugs from India, art from Bali, and even flamingos to create a tropical spectacle. Today, Necker Island rents for $100,000 per night and attracts figures like Barack Obama and Google co-founder Larry Page. The craziest billionaire moves ever. Not every billionaire story is about luxury and leisure. Aristotle Onassis bought the Greek island of Scorpios in 1963 for just $11,000 and transformed it into a lavish retreat to win over Jackie Kennedy, eventually marrying her there. The Barclay brothers, on the other hand, bought the island of Breccio in 1993 and tried to secede from the nearby island of Sark by printing their own stamps, raising their own flag, and filing lawsuits against local authorities. Then there is John Malone, who already owned millions of acres in the United States, but still purchased more than 225 islands off the coast of Maine, shutting down resorts and rebuilding them strictly for personal use. The sheer audacity and pettiness of these moves stand out even among billionaire standards. Private islands are more than just land. They are reflections of power, ego, and sometimes insecurity. If you owned an island, would you keep it hidden, or would you build the most extravagant resort the world has ever seen? Comment your answer, like this video, subscribe for more.